Oh gosh.
Who do I have here and where are you from?
My name's Ashlyn, and I'm the marketing manager at Cedar Creek Estate Winery here in Kelowna.
Excellent. So why did you come to this seminar? What was the purpose?
For us at Cedar Creek, we have a really exciting year ahead of us. We're building a brand new year-round restaurant, opening a new tasting room this summer, and a few of us in the staff just thought it was a really great experience to come here and learn about different ways that we can enhance our on-site visitor experience in partnership with TOTA and Destination BC.
Now, as far as a learning experience, I know it's a seminar and everything else. What else are you learning from?
Even just the partnerships in the room and the interesting, engaging conversations that are coming out with some of our winery neighbors or other businesses that we may have opportunities to partner with after this conference is over. There's just been some really great conversations and networking that are coming out of this.
It's interesting because you're all here in a competitive manner, but you're kind of working together. Is that true?
Oh, exactly. And I think that's so much of what TOTA and Destination BC do is really bring all of us together, because if one of us does well, we all do well, and we all want to help each other succeed and really heighten the awareness of our beautiful part of the world.
If there was one common thought that you'd like to take away from when you walk out the door and have a smile on your face, what would it be?
Just how proud I am to work in this part of the world and how lucky we are to get to do the jobs we do here every day in the Okanagan.
What, and in terms of a creative response, a creative thought or a creative note, are you looking forward to just like seeing that magic moment?
With the work that we're doing here, absolutely. Our hospitality manager and I are just full of ideas, and we just can't wait to get back to the winery and bring them to life for our visitors.
So it increases your enthusiasm as well, and you take these things home with you, don't you?
Absolutely. It's inspiring, not just to be in a room full of so many other people, but to learn success stories from other parts of BC, where they've done some really great work with the Experience Quotient program and the digital marketing, and just to see ways that we can apply that to our region here has been really inspiring.
When you first look at social media and all that stuff, it seems like an overwhelming subject.
It can be. I think, a lot of people in marketing, it's very easy to underestimate the impact it can have and the amount of time it can take, but especially when you're in the visual storytelling business, like we are in wine in particular, in this part of the world, it's a huge part of our brand. It's an amazing way to engage with your customers, to get them to become ambassadors when they're on site at your property and afterwards. It's a really big part of our business.
Fabulous. You were great, and you didn't move off camera.
Oh, yay.
Well done.
Cool. Thank you.
Very good answers. Great. So the first tough question is, who do I have here and where are you from?
Jeff Hansen, Director of Sales and Hospitality at Fitzpatrick Family Vineyards.
Excellent. So what were some of the thoughts that you had? Like, what were your expectations when you came here?
Well, I think that I was hoping for a little bit of helpful education on how to manage our social content and website and maximize the opportunities that we have so that clients can find us and learn about our remarkable experiences that we have on site at the winery.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll ask this again. Your expectations, were they personal or were they for your company?
Yeah, my expectations were definitely a little bit on the personal side and for my company, because I find that online management and social media management and the way that people interact today, I'm part of that generation, but I'm also a foot out of that generation. So always trying to keep abreast of those changes so that I can be, current and relevant, because I don't want to lose that connectivity to it.
It seems to me that this whole social media and web, it's a very complicated and changing world, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, it brings in a lot of elements. I mean, there's something new all the time. There's some things that are going out of fashion as well. So I think you need to stay somewhat connected to it, because you don't want to be, trying to push a cart up a hill on something that doesn't make sense anymore or people aren't actually using. And for the things that are still relevant, and being able to use and maximize their opportunities better.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. If you were to say to somebody, well, what was that all about? Like, you went to that seminar, what was it all about?
I would say that the seminar is about, being able to look at what your business is doing today. Say, is this the framework that is making sense for my customer? Who is my customer? Are they the right person that I'm targeting? Or am I, targeting who I think I am? There's many elements to it, but I think it helps you, gives you some direction and framework in what to do, some planning, which hopefully will then turn into sales and business in the future.
And from your standpoint, you're working with a lot of your competitors, but is there an advantage or something happening because you're collaborating with them?
I think the collaborative nature is the really important thing because, we're sitting beside fellow wineries and we're asking very open questions because we all are in the same business, but we all face the same challenges. It's a lot of people are coming to this area to visit, but there's what they say, almost 300 wineries now. I mean, it's the high 200s. But that's a lot of decisions and choices that people can make. So your winemaker focuses on making great wines so that you have something to sell. Well, you've got to develop an awesome package and a great story so that people will come to you versus maybe going down the road. Or you go down the road, they come to you, and then you say, well, why don't you go visit our friend down the road as well? So hopefully we work together to make it a good business.
If there was one moment when you're walking out the door, you're imagining that, you got a little smile on your face, that a creative moment hit you, what would that be?
Creative moment here?
Yeah. Like a satisfaction, what would be a creative thought that I kind of got this out of it?
I would say that as we were looking at structure of the website, for me, how are we getting people to come to the website and how are they engaging with our experiences prior to arriving and then once they arrive? So being able to think about, do we have our things we're trying to sell or inform people of in the right spot, or is it too deep and hidden away? So definitely got some great sort of notes and feedback that we can go back with this year to look and maybe do some reorganization so that clients can find what we want them to find first try.
Perfect. That was a perfect practical outcome. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Well done. Excellent. Well done. So I'm going to start off with a question. Who are you and where are you from?
My name's Chris Matson. I'm the general manager of the Gristmill and Gardens in Karamias.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So what brings you here? Like, why did you come?
Really to get the opportunity to really think about the kinds of experiences we offer to visitors and to refine what we're doing.
And when you do that, how do you expect to get that? Is it imparting knowledge or is it just through the discussion?
A lot of it is just in the networking and with the other people in the room. I mean, it's full of people that are doing interesting things on their own. So how can we do things together? It's something that I really want to focus on.
It's interesting because social media has gotten more complicated. It's very difficult. Are you hoping to get some of the clarity out of it?
The interesting thing about social media for me is that I've been doing it a decade. I'm of the wrong generation, but I'm a digital native. So the actual nuts and bolts of how to use Twitter and Facebook and those kinds of things aren't new to me. But there's always new ways to think about it and always new ideas that people are exploring. So I'm here to absorb that.
And your facilitator, what do you think?
I think Connor's great. Nice fellow. We actually know a lot of the same people from Vancouver in the social media world.
What makes his facilitation good?
Connor is very relaxed, clearly very knowledgeable. There's a certain ease with which people hold themselves when they know a lot more than they're saying in the moment, and he's definitely one of those people.
And now you're going to come up with some creative ideas, I hope.
I hope so.
Have any creative ideas stimulated yet?
Percolating on a few. They still need to germinate a little longer before they see the light of day.
And how do you see your social media impacting your business forward?
Social media has always been a big impact on the various businesses that I've run. The last museum that I ran before this one was the most followed museum in Canada on Twitter for a while. We know the power of Facebook, of Instagram. It's a matter of adapting that to the character of the place to figure out who your audiences are and really harness those tools effectively.
Do you think that quite often people make mistakes because they just don't understand social media?
I think that people make a lot of mistakes because they don't understand social media. And I also think that they're often led astray by focusing on the tools rather than the outcomes. Ultimately, you have to have goals. You have to know what you want to do and not just use these things just because. Yeah, everybody's on Facebook, but that doesn't mean that you should be unless you've got a reason to be there. So focus on those reasons, figure that out, and then get online.
If there's one little smile on your face when you walk out the door, this meant this to me, what would it be?
Ooh. Again, it just comes down to the people in the room and the networking and the sharing great ideas with good people.
Perfect. Well done. And you were great.
Thank you.
I'm just going to ask you questions.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Shoot.
Who do I have here and where do you work?
My name is Marcia Morrish, and I am with Okanagan Wine Country Tours. I am recently the general manager.
Excellent. So, Marcia, why did you come here to this event?
I attended last year while I was with Tourism Penticton, and now I'm on the other side of the desk because I'm now an experienced provider. So I am here just to do my job better, to find out how to connect with the guests better, to create a fan base, to be knowledgeable about the moving parts of social media.
It's interesting because it must be slightly different because of being on the actual retailer side. Is that right?
It is completely different, but I am so blessed to have the knowledge from the tourism side because it gives me sort of an eye of the consumer going into it. So now I think I can do my job better, connect with the consumer better, and offer a great experience just with having an idea who our guests are, the EQ, having some knowledge about that and some background working with that. So I'm looking forward to a fun ride with this company.
Have you found that this is a very nice and natural step to come back to the second autumn?
I'm so happy to be back on this side of the desk. Alan and I spent lots of time with Cedar Creek, being on the hospitality side, and I'm really happy to be back, having one-to-one contact with consumers, planning things for them, fam tours, meeting people I had a lady out on Friday who had never been to the Okanagan, never been to a winery, and I got to take her out and show her around, and I'm so proud of what our industry does, and of this valley, and it's so fun to see it with a new person's eyes.
What's really interesting is that you're sitting right next to a bunch of other wineries and stuff. How does this all fit in? Is there a competition or does this actually work together?
With tour operators or with the wineries?
Anyone in there?
Well, I know from my experience with the wineries, it's a very collaborative industry. Nobody's coming to the Okanagan to just see one winery. They might be interested in certain wineries, but we're all in it together on that end of things. People come here for the total wine experience, now spirits, ciders, craft beer. And with the tour operators, I don't know. I'm new. I've only been at it a month. We'll see. We're going to be the best, though.
Okay. So what's really interesting is you've come with co-partners. So this is a concerted effort on what you're doing. Let's talk about that.
Well, I'm here with the rest of my team. So Patty Ogden-Grady founded Okanagan Wine Tours in 1998. She sold the business 2 years ago, and just recently the current owners asked her to come back to the company. And then she asked me to join. Sarah Schneider, who we're sitting with, is our reservation specialist, but she is an integral part of the company, and she takes care of making sure the drivers know where they're going, when they're supposed to get there, who they're picking up. She has face-to-face contact with our guests and online. So we all work together as a team. It's lots of moving parts.
So just to make that a little more concise for me, I'm trying to get to the angle of your whole team is here because you want to move your thing forward in a very collaborative manner.
And be on the same page. So we're all singing from the same song sheet, and we're all moving to the same goalposts.
Are you learning anything different that you didn't know?
Oh my gosh, anyone that says they're not learning something different is crazy. You're always learning. Social media changes faster than you can keep up with it. Now they're creating new channels. Facebook is changing. Instagram is more important now than Facebook was 2 years ago. And I've never really been on a web page management side of the desk either. So really drinking in some good information on that today.
So when you walk out of here, what do you plan to take back with you?
We're going to sit down and look at our website and make sure that it's basically like a front door to our house. So that's what the guest's first impression is of our business. So we're going to make sure that we're making the right impression, and we're going to get busy and start posting.
Does it energize you or excite you?
Both. Yes, of course. I mean, I think, and this time of year, it can be easy to be kind of sleepy in the Okanagan. But as you know, this is when we get everything done, so that when our guests arrive in the spring, we're ready to hit the ground running. Okay,
because the one thing you said is that, wow, I was so excited, I can hardly wait to get back. That's what you said last
Exactly,
time.
yeah.
So let's try that again. How do you feel?
I'm so excited to get back to work and just get this all going, and I'm so excited to be back on this side of the desk.
Perfect.
There you go.
That's all I needed.
Okay.
Sorry about the mic, I'm worried, but
Let me hold this.
So who do we have here?
Hey, I'm Connor Galway from Destination BC, Remarkable Experiences.
So what are you trying to attempt here? What are you doing? What is this about?
So yeah, today we're working through digital marketing and social media with these really cool companies, and ultimately it's just about helping them to do the thing that they do offline and match their online with it.
You know, the web is changing so much, so it's probably important advice for them to people to come and see this. Is that true?
Yeah, and the web is changing so much, and there seems like every day there's a new tool or a toy that comes out, and what's even more important than keeping up with those is just being really clear on what our goals and our objectives are, so that we can be making choices about websites and social and that sort of thing. So what we're really focused on here is, like, what are we trying to achieve, like what are we trying to get, and then everything else is kind of just a way of getting there.
Now you're getting lots of questions.
Mm-hmm.
What are the questions like?
Oh yeah, the questions are great. I mean, the room is obviously the room is obviously like well informed. The questions we're getting are great. These people are really trying to dig in and understand how they can make best use of digital. Some of the questions are about how they can make best use of the resources they have available. Other ones are about how they can be better clients for their vendors. But ultimately, everyone just wants to be able to integrate their online and offline better, so that they feel like they're doing a really good job for their guests.
And it also seems to me that there's within your structure, you're trying to put these companies together so they collaborate on creative and everything.
That's one of my favorite things about Remarkable Experiences, is watching these businesses come together, come up with original ideas, and in ways that they can collaborate. Like ultimately, that's what digital and social does best. Is bringing otherwise disparate businesses together and having them create things with the guest in mind. And I'm seeing that spring up in conversations at tables and over lunch with like ideas for content collaborations or even business collaborations. It's one of the best parts of this.
And if you had a good thought and you watched this person walk out the door and they had a smile on their face, what would you hope they're thinking?
Oh, I hope that they're thinking that I can't wait to run home and create something that my guests are going to love, because it's going to make my life easier, it's going to make their life easier, and ultimately it's going to make it possible for me to continue the relationship that we have in real life, but just in the online world.
It seems to me, and I'm watching, that you really have a passion for this, don't you?
Yeah, I love this stuff. I mean, I approach this as a user first. So like, I love social media, and the thing that I get to do here is sort of advocate for the user and for the customer, and then help these people to understand what we want out of them, and just say like, we love you guys and we love social media, and this is how to put these things together.
Excellent. Perfect. That would be perfect. Let's make sure I was still rolling. I am. And you were in the